Okay, so this is how my outline will look like. So first we're going to cover very generally what is plagiarism, how to detect it, how to avoid it, and also talk about how plagiarism is not only for text and words, so we also need to look at images, data, and other material that we're sharing. And remember that the whole point of this is, the audience is the faculty, so we are trying to help you teach about plagiarism. So forgive us if sometimes we go over things that are well known to instructors, but nonetheless, we wanted to sort of share the tools and resources that would help you teach even these basic details about plagiarism. So to start the conversation about plagiarism, we basically need to talk about, being a digital citizenship. So that idea will sort of make the concept of avoiding plagiarism and citing sources a bit easier for students to grasp, because students these days, and as all of us are online, they're getting all their sources online. It's not easy to differentiate between content that's yours and that's not, etc. So it's very important to sort of start the conversation with these questions, with creating an awareness about being a digital citizen, between discussing these topics, talking about social media, how content there is not necessarily yours to share, pictures, videos, everything else that we come across. So this would be, in a way, the starting point for any talk that you want to have about plagiarism and citation. The bottom line is to do the right thing, to be ethical when we're sharing data. And to go a bit more formal, the idea of citation is usually to give credit to the author, as Nabila will explain in the second part of this session. So failing to cite something will result in plagiarism. And plagiarism is usually described as stealing or passing off the idea or words of others as one's own. It's basically reproducing any material that is not yours. And it is considered a literary theft. And it's even if you come up with an idea or a thought that is not yours, and you don't credit the original person who thought about this, this is considered plagiarism. It's an act of fraud, and it involves both stealing somebody's work and then lying about it. So if the intentions are fine and it's a mistake, you as instructors, you can tell the difference. You can probably help the student in writing or in paraphrasing the content properly. It's also very important to know that in the AUB student handbook and in other AUB rules and regulations, plagiarism is mentioned, and it's a serious offense. My next part of the presentation is going to be a short video, just to see and to sort of get everybody on board when it comes to plagiarism. It's a 2.5 minute video or so, so I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to the Department of Plagiarism Investigation. The DPI has dealt with numerous complex cases in their effort to bring plagiarists to justice and to rescue purloined texts. The first form of plagiarism that the DPI regularly encounters is known as brainchild snatching, in honor of the Latin word plagiarius, from which plagiarism originates. Brainchild snatchers sneak up on innocent papers and copy and paste them without citing any sources, putting quotation marks around direct quotes, or changing a word. They've also been known to steal and hold particularly eloquent essays for ransom. When brainchild snatchers get together, they form a kidnapping ring, which involves brainchild snatching from multiple sources. Some perpetrators have even been known to commit self-plagiarism, one of the laziest crimes in the annals of the DPI. Also known as one-sided collaborators, these oddballs snatch up entire texts or small passages that they've written before and present them as brand new material. Brainchild snatchers and kidnapping rings are easy for the DPI to catch. Just paste a few passages into a search engine and bam, they're caught red-handed. The more covert forms of plagiarism include the wild goose chase technique, in which plagiarists create fake authors, book titles, page numbers, or other information in order to cover up plagiarism. And the old synonym switcheroo, in which plagiarists utilize a thesaurus as their main weapon. By substituting a synonym for nearly every word in the document and leaving the sentence structure and order of the ideas the same, plagiarists give legitimate paraphrasing a very bad name. Shoddy paraphrasing is also a key part of variations on a smokescreen, a technique in which multiple passages are paraphrased, then pasted together into one. The thorniest issue that the DPI deals with is the misconception that you can never be accused of plagiarism if you use quotes and cite your sources. This is most certainly not the case, because a paper that is made up of passage upon passage of other people's ideas is known as a wholly quotable document. This is considered plagiarism since there are no original thoughts in the work. Similarly, passage after passage of too closely paraphrased text from multiple cited sources is also plagiarism of the pervasively paraphrased kind, because the ideas still aren't one's own. And lastly, the technique of revealing while concealing is plagiarism because it involves selective amnesia regarding one's sources in an attempt to cover up wholly quotable and pervasively paraphrased issues in a text. Some passages are meticulously documented, quoted, or paraphrased, while others are presented entirely as one's own. As you can see, the DPI has its hands full tackling all sorts of academic mischief and mayhem, ranging from the petty to the outrageous. Given the gravity of these transgressions, you might be wondering why you've never heard of the Department of Plagiarism Investigation's victories. That's because it doesn't technically exist. But people like you and me can be our own DPI agents to fight plagiarism and uphold the values of original thinking. We know that the best defense against plagiarism consists of writers who save themselves time, worry, and effort by taking the far easier road of just doing the work themselves.
With the remaining of the presentation. So now we're going to move on. Now that we have everyone, on board, we've had the discussion in class about being responsible digital citizen, about the importance of plagiarism, and so on. Now we're going to move on to how to detect plagiarism. At AUB, we use Turnitin, which is an internet-based service, and it's integrated in Moodle, where it could help you and the student detect and work on plagiarism issues in any submitted work. Turnitin has something called a plagiarism spectrum. There are other sources that have other types of spectrums. However, I'm going to use this one because we are abiding by Turnitin. So the spectrum will basically cover the intensity of the plagiarism, if you like. So how much has that student really plagiarized? So there's the clone, which is at the far left of the spectrum, and which basically literally means that that person has submitted somebody else's work, word for word. And as you move along the spectrum, it will become maybe less serious, but you can also identify how or why that student has plagiarized. So sometimes they have copied and pasted certain parts of another person's work. Sometimes they find certain words and replace them with others, which is a bad form of plagiarism, paraphrasing, for example. Sometimes you notice that they have gotten different sources and they mix them together to sort of come up with something that they believe is original work, whereas in reality, it's a mix and match of other people's work. Sometimes they reuse ideas and try to, or words, and they try to put them in their writing. And sometimes they even have the right citation and everything, but they are relying too closely on the wording and the structure of the author. And this would go on the far right of the spectrum, which is a bit less, if you want, serious, but nonetheless, it's important to familiarize with the spectrum, to be able to come over to the students and talk to them about how they can fix this plagiarism problem. Of course, for us to teach them about how to avoid plagiarism, there are three main methods, and the best practice about those varies. There are a lot of sources, even the citation manuals that we have will have hints about how to paraphrase or how to use another idea in the proper way. The most common one that a lot of writers assume is okay is quoting or copying the source information word for word and putting quotations. Although this is sometimes necessary, it's not highly recommended. It will distract from the writing style of the author or student. And ideally speaking, it should be very limited. So a rule of thumb is, for example, for a 2,000 word assignment, the quotes, the direct quotes should not exceed 4. This is very important to highlight for the students. Although it is a use method, it's not a good one to overuse in the writing. It will basically just be a sort of a copy paste, which we don't want. The second method is, of course, the commonly used one, which is paraphrasing or taking an idea but putting it in your own words. It has its own techniques and it has a best practice. I've included also a link here that might have some useful techniques to share with your students. It's very important that they need to not just take the sentence as is and replace some of the words. They need to change the structure of the sentence, even if they keep the idea the same, and they, of course, need to cite, which Nabila will cover. Another method, which is very similar to paraphrasing, is summarizing. This is important. It shows you that the person has read the content of the original content that they based their writing on, and they have summarized the idea, keeping the same concepts, but again using their own words and not the terms that are used in the original text. Of course, there are some technical terms that are repeated and you cannot change those. For those, it's fine to keep using them. Turnitin, in this case, might probably get a higher rate for plagiarism, but it's important that your judgment, of course, as instructors comes in handy. You need to look and see where it's highlighting plagiarism, and in that case, it's fine. A very important aspect, because especially now we are talking about the digital citizenship, copying material does not only apply to text. Also, it's important to cite or give credit to images, to videos, to audios. Some of the very common practices that we see now is somebody, for example, making a video and then adding music without giving credit to the musician behind that music. So this is not okay to do. Students to understand that. The same applies for video. You get somebody, from the internet, you get a video and you plug it into your own video, or you use it in a presentation or in something. You need to make sure you are also giving credit to the source. Same thing applies for social media. Of course, we are not talking about the personal use of social media, although that's also ethically speaking, this is important for students to be aware of, but we're talking about using the content from any source, and any type of content should always be given the proper citation and the credit for the original creator of that source. I'm just going to show you here very quickly a research guide that we have, which has a section about plagiarism that might include some useful tips and tools for you as instructors. My last slide will be a bunch of resources that we have collected to also help you with finding sources. So under research help and tools on the website, if you go to research guides and you search for plagiarism, you'll find quite a few. But in how to cite your sources, there is a section for plagiarism, which includes useful links and tools that you can use. I want to mention here that we have stopped the subscription to Grammarly. So although it was to a certain extent a helpful tool for students, we saw a lot of mishaps technically and especially in terms of security. Because it could access certain materials. So we stopped it because we wanted to really see an enterprise version of Grammarly before we subscribed again. That's the first reason. The second reason is now we have Microsoft Editor, which is part of our Windows offering. So you can tell your students to go ahead and use that. So MS Editor is now for any AUB active AUB.NET account, you can access MS Editor. So here I've just listed, I will also be sharing this, of course, some of the resources. The first part is AUB library resources, the research guides, the books and ebooks that are useful. I've also mentioned some databases. Some of them even have video tutorials like Sage research methods that could help you in teaching about plagiarism and citation. And I've also listed other resources from other institutions, mostly universities, to give you tools and other ideas for teaching about this topic. Of course, students and yourself are always welcome to contact the library. As usual, you can chat, ask a librarian, check our news for upcoming webinars. Before I give the floor to Nabila, who will be talking about the citation side, I just want you to keep this link or to open it now. It's basically a Padlet, and it's I'm going to consider it collective wisdom for us to sort of share ideas and tips for teaching about plagiarism, for talking about plagiarism, the main challenges we have. So anyone can just click here on the plus, and you can add posts to each question, and we can have a sort of a discussion. This will be saved, and I can, of course, share it with you at the end as well. And it can be an ongoing conversation, especially for you who are mostly in the teaching domain and who are suffering if you want to share information about plagiarism. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to give the floor to Nabila. Yes, I'm just gave you the I just gave you the right to share your screen. Nabila, can you please check if it's working?
Yes, let me check 1 second. Share, yes, I can share my screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. And welcome to the second part of today's workshop on citation. Let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Nabila Shahabuddin. I am the head of research and instruction services at JAFL. Why this part today? Because as we all know, students need to collect, evaluate, and cite sources for their papers, essays, and other assignments. And the internet has made this process both easy and fruitful on one side, but also more complicated, especially when it comes to citation. So in this part of the workshop, I'm going to highlight several citation resources and tools that you can use to help students understand what referencing is, what to reference, how to reference, and much more. We both librarians and faculty members receive a lot of questions from students on citations. This could be very basic or more advanced, like what's a citation, why citing is important, do I have to cite, how to cite properly, which citation should I use, what's APA, what's MLA, etc., etc. Also, we should keep in mind that first-year students in general, they know that they have to cite, but mainly in order to avoid plagiarism. But they do not necessarily understand how to integrate in-text citation properly, how to format reference list, and understand the logic behind why to have it alphabetical, indentation, etc. And also how to determine what kind of sources they are working with. Therefore, it's important for students before they start citing to understand few things. First, to cite properly. And according to the APA Style 7th edition, there are 6 steps to proper citation. Students should read the work, identify an idea, write a sentence about that idea, write a reference list entry for the work selected, then add in the text the corresponding in-text citation, and they need to understand that they have to repeat as needed for every work or ideas they used in their paper. The second thing is which citation style they need to use. There are so many styles, and each style has its own set of rules. But in general, students do not know which style to use, but the commonly used styles at AUB are APA, MLA, and citation. But there are many citation styles by disciplines and by subject, like IEEE for engineering, Harvard for business, and Vancouver for medicine. But usually, the instructor will provide the student with the citations tool to use and which citations they need to use in their course. First, they need to know how to identify the element of a citation. It's common for students to be unfamiliar with the different part of the citation or with the anatomy of the citation. In general, there are 4 elements of reference list entries, and they should answer these 4 questions: the who for the author, the when for the date, the what for the title of the source, and the where is any additional information needed to find the source. And finally, students should know that citing sources should, whatever is the citation style used, should include 2 parts, the in-text citation and the reference list. And with in-text citation, whether it's parenthetical, numbering, or footnote, they should appear throughout the whatever assignment paper, essays, etc., and they should insert the in-text citation whenever they are quoting, paraphrasing, summarizing, or discussing the idea from another author. And they should be short, and they should direct the reader to a full citation in the reference list. The reference list, it's the listing of all the sources they used in their paper. Once the student understand all this, then they can start maybe using referencing tools. One of these tools is the cite button. It's really a cool feature. Maybe many of you are familiar with. This button allows users to automatically generate references, but not in text citation. Many of our databases have this have cites button like ProQuest Central, Academic Search Ultimate from EBSCO, JSTOR, IEEE, and many other databases. Cite button is not limited only to databases, but also it's found in our search engine, search all of the library, where each record has the cite button on the right side of the item itself, and the student can use standard styles. Also in Google Scholar, there is a cite button underneath each record. As I said, not all library databases will provide student with citation. And if the student only wants a quick citation or a list of bibliography, so in this case, they can use what we call automatic citation generators. One of the good automatic citation generator to use is Zotero Bib. It's a free It helps to build a bibliography instantly from any computer or device without creating an account or installing any software. Zotero-Bib, you can a student can either type in or enter the URL or the DOI or the title of the source, select the citation style and click on Cite, or they can enter the information manually by going to manual entry, select the item, whether it's a journal, a book chapter, and fill up the information, then cite the source. There are many other automatic citation generators, like Cite This For Me, and this will cover different citation styles in addition to APA, MLA. It covers Harvard, IEEE, and Vancouver. Other citation style is the citation generator. It's free, and I'm sure that most of you are familiar with it, and it create citation automatically for APA, MLA, and Chicago, and also they include comprehensive guide for these three citation styles. Additional tools are BibMe, include citation guides and citation generators, but for previous editions of APA and MLA. And there are many university libraries that who have created their own automatic citation generators like NightCite and Citation Builders. One more tool is citation tools in Microsoft. Here in any Word document, you can see the reference tab. All you have to do is to select the style, then go to insert citation, add a new source, then select the type of source, fill up the information. And once you're done with this, you simply click on bibliography and you insert bibliography. All these are tools, they are excellent, they are great, very convenient, but they may generate citation with errors, and these citations in this case need to be corrected manually. So familiarity with the style is very important. And here is a list of referencing and citing guides from different universities covering different styles. Purdue, Massey, and also we have the APA 6th edition guide in Arabic for whoever is citing Arabic sources. Purdue Online is our best friend, and I'm sure that you are all familiar with it. In this guide, you simply go to the research and citing resources where you can get a list of styles covered by Purdue All. And if you want to check any of these styles, you click on the link, you'll get an overview, an introduction, how to format, and make sure to look at the edition, whether it's the one you are requested by the professor or the one you want to use. And it's very comprehensive, and it gives a lot of information on how to format, how to do in-text citation, works cited, and much, much more. Another example is a guide is from Massey University Online Writing Lab. I like it because it is interactive. When you go to the Writing Lab, you have a section on referencing, and you can see that they cover APA, MLA, and Chicago. And for each style, you can see the APA, for example, the interactive guide. If we go to APA Interactive, this page will allow usually students to create customized interactive examples of APA reference and in-text citations. So if you click on it, you can see the type of sources. You choose the type you want. Let's say I want to get a customized example for journal article. You click on the link, and this will give you this page where you can customize the sample according to the number of authors you have in your original source, whether the source is print, it has a DOI or a URL. And this will give an example reference list entry. All you have to do to understand more about each of these sections is to click on the part and see how to format this part. Let's say I want to check the Mario voice. When I click on it, I will get instructions that this is the article title and the name in the journal, how to write it, how to format it, and details. This is for the reference list. Also, you can see that we have an in-text citation tab, and this in-text citation usually give examples on how to do the in-text citation for paraphrasing, quoting, and citing sources within a source. If you want more information, additional extensive details, then you can refer to citation styles manuals and handbook, which include a lot of explanation, examples, and instruction on each style. And all these can be accessed from the guides that Sahar has covered on how to cite. Of course, you go to the library, research help and tools, then you click on citing your sources. This is the main page where you have introductory, how to start, automatic citations, guide from Massey University, what's a citation. For sample styles from other university, you go to sample styles, and for more manuals, you go to manuals. And here is a list of games and quizzes available on the web that I want to share with you. As we all know, practice make perfect, and students can test their citation skills using these quizzes and games, and they are very interactive. And also, this is a list of learning activities, and we all know that these usually learning activities engage students. So try to put some excitement into your citing course or into your citing class. Create your own activity. You can use this as modules to take ideas from, and if you want help in creating such activities, we can help you in doing that. Finally, how to manage citation and what are the options. Usually, it depends on two things. How many citations do you have and whether you're going to use them again or not. If you have few citations and you'll not use them again, then use automatic citation generators. But if you have a few citations, let's say 10 citations or less, or if you have many citations, like 10 citations or more, but you're going to use them again and again later on. So in this case, we recommend that you use citation management tools. So what are citation management tools? These are softwares that allows you to create your own database of references, download citation and articles from search engine, website, and library databases. They allows you to electronically store and organize your citation, do annotation and highlight articles, save in the tool, format the citation in text and the bibliography in one click using standard styles like APA, MLA, or journal styles. And also it allows you to share references with other researchers. Commonly known citation management tools are EndNote, RefWorks, Zotero, and Mendeley. EndNote and RefWorks, they need subscription, while Zotero and Mendeley are free. The most comprehensive among all these four is EndNote, and the library is subscribed to EndNote. How to get into EndNote? On the library main page, you go also to the section Research Help and Tools. You click on EndNote and you go to the box Get EndNote Client to download EndNote. If you are on campus, then you can simply follow the instruction and download it yourself, or check with the IT in your department. If you are off campus and you want to download EndNote, you need to send us an email, either to GFTREF, or you can send it to me personally, and we will direct you to the IT team at the library who will help you in downloading EndNote onto your desktop or your laptop. Also, AUB libraries provide consultation and support for both tools. To find this guide on how to use either EndNote or Mendeley, under Research Help and Tools, you go to Research Guides and you search for EndNote, and this will take you to the EndNote guide, where you can get a download EndNote, how to get started, how to organize your references, create a format your paper, share, etc. If you need further assistance, you are welcome to contact me. Simply go to email and send me your question. If you want assistance or support for Mendeley, also go to Research Guide and look for Mendeley. And for additional information, you can always email my colleague Joyce Awais.
How to use EndNote in 6 minutes. This video will give you a fast start on using EndNote. It will show you how to create an EndNote library, 2 ways to import a reference from an online database using PubMed as an example, how to create a custom group and add references to it, how to use Find Full Text to download PDFs for references, how to insert a reference in a Word document, how to format a bibliography using the APA style as an example, how to add page numbers to a citation. To create an EndNote library, select New from the File menu. EndNote will name the library My EndNote Library, but the name can be changed. Do not save it in any cloud syncing folders, such as those for Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive. Syncing folders such as these will corrupt the EndNote library over time. Also, do not save it to a network drive. EndNote libraries should be kept on your computer's hard drive. Click the Save button to save the new library. The first method of importing is online search. In EndNote, click the Online Search Mode button. Select the online database you want to search. There are thousands more available. These are just the most popular ones. Build your search. Click the Search button to perform the search. Click the OK button. Select the references you want in the list. Click the Copy to Local Library button. Click the Local Library Mode button to see the contents of your EndNote library. The references you just copied are shown in the Temporary Copied References group. To create a permanent group for your references, select Create Group from the Groups menu. Enter the name of your group and press Enter. Select the references to add to the new group and drag them into the group. Another method of importing references is direct export. I am going to import some references from PubMed as an example, but this method can be used with many other online databases. I am using Firefox for this example because it supports direct export on both the Windows and Macintosh platforms. Direct export will also work with Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, and Google Chrome. Perform your search of the online database in your browser. Select the references you want to import. For PubMed, mark the references to select them. Click the Send To link, then select Citation Manager. The link or button to start direct export may be called different things by different data providers. Look for something that talks about saving, exporting, or importing references. If offered a choice of formats, select the one that mentions EndNote or RIS. For PubMed, selecting Citation Manager will save it in the correct format for direct export. Click Create File. Firefox will ask if you want to open the file and what program you want to open it with. Select EndNote. Click the OK button. Click the OK button. If the database is set up for direct export, the references will import right into EndNote. The new references are shown in the Imported References temporary group. Drag the new references to the permanent group they should belong to. To have EndNote try to find the PDFs for references, select the references, then click the Find Full Text button. If EndNote is able to find the PDFs, you will see paperclip icons appear by the references. After a reference is in the EndNote library, it can be added to a Word document. In Word, click where you want to put an EndNote citation. Then click the Go to EndNote button. Select the reference or references you want to insert. Click the Insert Citation button. The reference is inserted into your paper and instantly formatted. To change the style, click the tiny arrow in the bottom right corner of the bibliography group. Select the style from the list of favorites. If your favorite style is not showing, you can use the Browse button to see more styles. Click the OK button. To add page numbers to a citation, click on the citation, then click the Edit and Manage Citations button. Add page numbers to the Pages field, then click the OK button. EndNote can do a lot more than this. If you would like to learn more, there are many training resources available in the EndNote LibGuide.
Thank you for your attention, and we're going to leave the floor now for questions.
Thank you, Nabila. So I'm going to try to unmute everyone. So everybody, you're not muted now. But those of you who don't have a question, please mute yourself, as we can hear you all, please. Hello? Okay, so please, everybody, I need a favor from you. I need those of you who don't have a question to mute themselves. I'm going to unmute everybody. And those who have questions, if you could please let us know. It's not going to work. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure if they have access to unmute themselves. This is my only concern. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and let us know in the chat or in the Q&A sections. And as promised, after the session, we're going to send the recording along with useful links and the links for the videos. I'm looking at the Padlet. Unfortunately, no one gave us any ideas there yet. Am I mistaken? Let me see. Not yet. So I think it's a good conversation to have. So if you can just have a look at it, it's just a straightforward sort of something that looks like a forum that we can do. I'm going to send it again through chat. Okay, so we have a question from from somebody. Is there a teacher guide prepared by the university libraries to share with other part-time instructors at our faculty? This can help them also reduce the cases of plagiarism. Yes, actually, Nabila and myself, some of the resources that we have mentioned are research guides that are done for AUB and mostly for AUB faculty. Nabila, I don't know if you'd like to elaborate on that. They include different sections for citation, for plagiarism, and for relevant tools that we have. Yes, the links are there. And in both presentations, actually, the main research guide for citation was mentioned. So you will find the links in it as well, in the presentation as well. But we'll definitely share it on the side in the text. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to check the Q&A as well. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm guessing that's it. Let me see. Okay, so we have a comment, which is students are under a wrong impression that they can have a certain percentage of plagiarism. Yeah, I guess we agree to that, but this is where, again, this is why I started by saying that it's a conversation and it's about awareness, and this is why you are our superheroes. So the conversation about being a good, digital citizen, about coming to the thought of even social media and things that they think are simply shareable need to be cited and are considered to be plagiarized if you are taking it and using it in a paper. So this is definitely a concern. Maybe this comment can be on the Padlet, and you can see if your colleagues have certain advice about this. Thank you for that. Also, another comment is there are many plagiarism checking websites online. Do you think these are accurate enough to be able to help students avoid plagiarism as much as possible? No, we don't think they are good enough. There are certain things that are free online, open access, and there are things that need subscription, like Turnitin, which is the top notch or the ideal one that we use, but also we had some experience with Grammarly, which is also a good tool, but it was not good enough because everything's online now, and it depends on the pool that this tool is looking at. So Turnitin is the best one. So ideally speaking, the official answer would be Turnitin is the best way to figure out if there is plagiarism or not. But for students to sort of know if any of their content is plagiarized, it would go back to the course, to the instructor, and to them to actually learn the process properly. Unfortunately, for now, this is it. There was a big conversation with IT regarding whether or not instructors should allow more trials on Turnitin. So if I'm a student, I'm uploading my document, I can upload it more than once to sort of learn from my mistakes. If I see a 50 or 60%, let's say, plagiarism, I need to talk to my instructor and see how I can reassess that. And this would be up to the instructors, of course. One more question is, not all AUB faculty have the same concept of similarity versus plagiarism on Turnitin. Yes, this is also a very good comment. I mean, it's a conversation, and I think you are our experts. We're just here to sort of give possible hints or tips or tools, but definitely, I mean, faculty need to be on the same level of understanding and on the same level of conviction that plagiarism is serious to be able to talk about this. How can students access Turnitin to insert their work? They can only access it through Moodle. And the idea that I was talking about was whether it's possible for faculty to allow more than one upload of the file. Yeah. So this is something you need to talk to IT academics with and to see if any of you are interested in is interested in making it, not turn it in simply to turn in the work. It's like you can give, let's say, 3, 4, 5 trials. Ideally speaking, I think now students are given 2 chances. So the first time, if they get a comment from the instructor, that this needs work, and then the second time, that's it, if I'm not mistaken. But from our understanding, this was agreed between instructors and the IT. So when we talked to IT, because they were the ones who recommended to stop Grammarly, they were telling us that Turnitin has the possibility, if the instructor wants, to have multiple, uploads of the documents. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm not seeing any. I'm going to
just one
yes.
thing, Sahar. Do you
Yeah.
think are they interested in having like a short, بما إنه since the video did not work, how to use EndNote in very quickly in 5 minutes, so I can do it?
Yeah, I mean, let's hear out. I just have 2 more questions, Nabila, and then the floor is all yours, because I just saw that somebody had Dr. Buzainuddin was saying that this webinar should be part of student orientation, graduate and undergraduate. Definitely. We also think so. And actually, part of the conversation with the graduate council and so on, we have an established webinar series that Nabila is in charge of. And I think this topic, this topic is definitely one of the topics covered. For undergrads, it's here and there. It depends on the schools and on the topics. We also are considering having modules online now that things are moving online. Another comment, one of the growing problems we are noting is that students are asking other shadow writers to do their projects, and this cannot be easily detected through Turnitin. This can be particularly a problem in big classes, and now as we transition away from exams, given the recent distant learning movement, it will be harder to detect these cases. Any suggestions? Again, for us, it's a conversation and it is a challenge. I think if you would add this to the Padlet and maybe see what other instructors are doing about this, because especially for topics like things related to, let's say, the communication skills or certain courses, it's very hard to identify if the content is original or not, probably. So I understand this frustration. I personally don't have a particular suggestion because, again, we are only using Turnitin and hoping that we create enough awareness for students to not plagiarize. During my research for this webinar and previously, I've seen a lot of online tools, but that are open access. But to be honest, none of them felt really serious, or I didn't feel that any of them was really highlighting the plagiarism. And sometimes it highlights it in the wrong way. So if it's your own work, it might come up, let's say, as fully plagiarized or something like that. Nabila, do you have any other suggestions?
No, I noticed the same thing when regarding plagiarism checkers from they are not good enough to use.
I agree. Okay, I think there are no more questions. Nabila, if you'd like to go over EndNote.
I don't know if we have time, but I can do that.
I mean, if it's a 5-minute thing, please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for listening, and Nabila now will show us a bit more about EndNote. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Just 1 second. 1 second, please. Okay. Once you download EndNote and you open it, usually you'll get this page with a gray background and some announcements. All you have to do is close the announcement window, and to create a library, you simply go to File, you click on New, and you name your library whatever you want, and you save it. Make sure to save it in somewhere that you will remember. You click on Save, and your EndNote library. Once you create your library, you'll have 3 columns. The first one for organizing your references. The second one is the list of referencing. And the third one, it gives you the details regarding each reference. Before you start using EndNote, it's good that you think, how do you want to organize your references? In general, it's recommended to have one library, but to have as many groups as you want. To create a group, you simply go to the groups on the menu bar. You say, you click on create group, and you name it, let's say test. To add references into EndNote, you need to go to the library and search while you do that while you are searching. So if we go to the library main page, for example, and we go to one of the databases, I'm going to try Academic Search Ultimate. Let's say I'm looking for something on Lebanese history. So you conduct your search, and while you are skimming through the list of results, you can choose whatever you want. Let's say I'm interested in this article. So what you can do, you simply click on the title itself, and under Tools, you'll have the option to export. So in any database, either look for export or for download citation or for save, etc. When you click on export, you have the option to export to different citation management tools. You look for EndNote. You click on save. It's the default option here. You click on save, and in one click, open, my reference will appear into EndNote. Very quick, very easy. And if I click on the reference, I click on the reference tab in the third option, I can see what has been imported. You have the author, the date, the title, etc., etc. If you want to put this reference into the folder that you have created, you right-click on it and you go to Add, and you choose the folder, test, for example, and here is the citation added to the test folder. If you want to find the full text for or link a full text to a citation, you highlight the citation itself, then you go to find full text. If you are off campus, you'll be asked to enter your username password. If you are off campus, it will look for it automatically. So here you enter the AUB username and password, and you link the full text with the citation. As you can see, once you do that, you'll get an attachment sign next to the reference. Once you select all your references and you want to use them in whatever essay, paper, maybe article, what you need to do is open two things. You open EndNote on one side and you open the Word document on another side. Make sure that when you download EndNote to have the EndNote X9 tab in Word. You go there and you can simply select whatever citation you want to insert from your EndNote library. Select the output style. I'm going to use, for example, APA. You have here many styles, and if the style is not there, you go to select another style. So APA 6th edition, and you go to Sohurani, and you go back to the Word document. You say insert citation, insert selected citation after selecting APA as a style, and you'll get the citation in text and reference in one click. But as we said, for any tool, these are automatic tools, so you need always to recheck and make sure that everything you get in your paper is correct. This is very briefly how to use EndNote. If you have questions, you can refer to us, or you can go to our guide or send us email, take an appointment for more.
Thank you, Nabila.
Thank you.
I want to thank CTL again for the opportunity. This was hopefully a very helpful webinar, and hopefully it is the beginning of a conversation. There is probably a lot more to cover about these two topics. We hope everyone enjoyed them. Nabila, please, would you like to add anything or comment on anything before?
Yeah, for sure that we will have, we'll coordinate with CTL for webinars, but and if you have any suggestion, please, you are interested in something particular that you think we should cover as CTL in coordination with the library, please send us your feedback.
Yeah, please do. Okay, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.